Hi, in this video we're going to look at connecting the FT-991a up to your PC using a USB cable. That means that you can partly use the Vox facility. You don't have to go directly into the sound card, you're using it via the USB. I'll show you how it sets up. It's very easy. You can set it up for the SSTV, but then that leads on to being able to use the FT8, and it's so simple, it's unbelievable. Now all you have to do is download the FT8 software and you're off. So it's almost like text messaging versus picture messaging with the SSTV. So once you've done the SSTV, FT8 comes along with it, almost. All you have to do is download and install the software. It's as simple as that. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I've already done it with my FT-991a, is plug that into the back of it. Right? Ideally I turned off all the machines before I did. Then I plugged that into my PC. I turned on the PC and then waited, and then I turned on the FT911, and funnily enough it just saw the drive straight away. Now if you want to do anything further than the audio, if you want to start controlling the FT911, which I don't want to, I want to keep control, then you can download the drivers straight from the Yaesu website. And if you go straight to the Yaesu website, go to the FT991a and scroll down, you can see the drivers. There's a lot of manuals on there as well to download in various languages, but the drivers are on there as well. If you want any further information on those drivers, or you want me to do another video on those drivers, just leave a message in the comments and I'll quite happily do you a quick video on it. As for today, I'm not going to bother. We're just going to assume that we've plugged this cable in. Okay, so now I have plugged this cable in. What we need to do is have a look at some of the settings on the 991a. We need to set up the 911a to tell it that we want to use the USB in the back of the radio, and we want to use the Vox option on it as well. So we're going to set all that up. Now you can set it up for all the different options of the modes that you're using. We're going to set it up for the FM, because that's what we're going to use on 2 meters. But if you're going to go down and use the HF band, you need to use it on sideband. So we're going to set it up for the sideband as well. Right, right. So we now need to set the menus. The first one we're going to do is the FM portion, and we're going to scroll down to menu number 74, and there I've got rear selected. Okay, if I click on the other one, it says microphone and it's surrounded by blue. Now when it's when it's in the blue mode, like the 50 above on the data output level, that's the factory setting. Select enter again and I can move it to the rear, and then enter. Job's done. The next one to look at is the FM output level, and that needs setting to 75. Next is menu 76, and that is for your press to talk, needs setting to RTS. And then on 77, the PKT port needs to be USB. Then we're going to move right down to 106. Again, we're going to set the microphone select to the rear. In the case of the output level, I'm leaving that at 50, and it seems to work quite well. The press to talk I've set as RTS again. That allow the Vox to work then, and then the port select is the USB. Everything else I've left as normal. Okay, so when we're happy with that, press the menu again, it'll come off. Then before we actually transmit, we press the F button, we can go to the Vox. I've got it off now. If I press it again, it comes on. Now that means that as soon as it detects any sound in the rear of the radio through the USB, it will automatically come on. So when you're transmitting your audio of your wave file, which is the encoded picture, it'll automatically come on and it'll transmit it for you. If you want to stop it from doing that, just press off. Simple as that, really. Once you've done that, you're now all set up to use your MMSSTV, which we're going to have a look at now of how to use it. Right, so we've now made the changes on the menu for the FT-911. What we need to look at now is using the MMSSTV. Now I've already booted it up, we've got it ready, it's all plugged in, the FT-991a is on, it's tuned in, it's ready to go. Okay, so what do we need to do first? Well, we need to make sure that we're using the right sound card. If we go to the options up there and then we click on system sounds, and we go to recording, we should see that here it says USB audio codecs. Okay, just going to cancel that, go back to the options again, sound card input, and it should be the same thing. Okay, just cancel that again. Okay, so once you've got it set up on the codecs, if it's not set up on codecs, just go and click it, go and find it, go and click it. You can do it through your systems set up on your computer as well if you want. I'm going to assume a degree of knowledge for you to be able to do that with your computer. Right, so what do we want to do next? Well, we want to have a look at 4 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4 there. We'll come across the synchronise button. Well, go on, let's mention that now. If you're actually receiving and it goes all wavy, 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 just try going to the synchronised and try clicking slant and phase. It may be that the time is just out a little bit on the computer. If you've got your time set to internet time, it shouldn't be a problem. If you're having a problem, if you're struggling with that, just go over to your time, right click and go up to adjust the time and date, and then in your settings go to synchronise now. It'll give you a big tick, and that, if you have a problem with it synchronising, that might sort it out. Right, so what we want, well, the receiving, we've already looked at the receiving. It should automatically do it. If you've got the auto button press there, it'll choose which one of these as long as it hears the signal at the beginning. Okay, these down the side here, they're just the output, if you will, the modes of the wave file. Round on VHF locally, in this country we would use Martin 1, it tends to be. However, if you're looking at Europe and you're looking at say 10 metres, you're better off to use Scotty 2. It's a little bit faster, it's not, the quality is not as good, but I suspect people prefer to use it because the information is getting out there quickly. Alright, now the history. If you've got the history set, you can go back and have a look to see what you've received. Now this is one I did yesterday. You can see the band is absolutely flat. 10 metres, I used 10 metres, absolutely flat. I sent this picture out. There was absolutely no audio communication going on. There was some FT8, but that was very limited. I sent that image back and I managed to get this image back from them, and it's a SP9AJD up in Poland, and he's just sent the image, a little part of the image back that I sent him, so you can see that it's not too bad. Also up here he's put 595. Now if I go to my text, I will click, sorry, if I click on the template one, that'll be a bit better. If I double click then on one of these templates that I've made down here, what I've got is to the call, so I can change that. In fact, I'll show you how to do that now. Double click on it and you get a little pop-up. You can put the call sign in of the person that you want on there, and then press OK and it'll come up. So if I do that, say I put in 6 FB, that belongs to my dad. We'll get rid of that as well. I'm sure he won't mind me using this call sign. Then you get G6FA up there. 595. Well, 5 and 9 is exactly the same as in audio, but then we have another one on the end, which is the quality of the picture as it comes through. So if you want to sit there and listen to the audio, you want to look at the signal strength, but then look at the picture as well. Down here I've also got, I'll just make it a bit bigger for you, that is the last picture I've received in the history. Now I say that, it's the one I've got up in the history. If I move to the right, that's actually the last one. So I now go to my template and you'll see it's changed. So if you want to send one back, go to your history, select the one you want to send back. It's nice to send them back because you can see then exactly what's been sent. So when I got that one back, where is it? When I got that one back, I could see what I'd sent, although it's very grainy coming from the sender. Okay. If at this stage, when you've opened your history, you want to save the picture that's been sent, right click, you get a menu, save to file, and down there you'll notice it puts the date on for you. Just press save. Well, obviously choose your folder, press save, and it'll save it with that little date on for you. Okay, now let's go back to the template for a minute. Okay, MMSSTV comes with a number of templates. You can create your own. So for instance, if I wanted to keep this template where I've just changed to G6 IFV, I might even want to change the colour. There we go. As soon as I've done that, I can then drag it down to an empty box and it'll automatically save it there for me. If I want to make any alterations to it, I can do. Let's say I want to change the colour. I don't know, call it yellow, maybe. Save it again. If I drag it down to the box, it'll overwrite it. Now, this is the one that I did for my CQs. So I've got my call sign up at the top. I've then changed that MMSSTV on the top to my name and my locator. So I put my full locator in there as well. Then I've just typed in CQ SSTV and my call sign. I can make larger, I'll make it smaller. That would depend on the quality. If I'm using 10 meters and the bands are down, I would want to make it bigger so that the image got through at the other side so they can see the call sign. If I'm using VHF, I'd quite happily make it a bit smaller because I'd be using Martin 1 as opposed to Scotty 2, and I'd expect the quality to be reasonable. However, if you're still going a long distance, you might want to make it big to start with. It's a bit too big, isn't it? You might want to make it big to start with, just to get your message across, and then when you got something back and you knew it was decent quality, then you could go back to making it quite small, or again double click and you're up with with one of the templates. Right, so all that said done, I've left that open by accident, close that down. All that said and done, let's go to the text. I'm going to select my CQ, and what we're going to do, I've got the radio tuned in, just make sure that it's all alright. I'm on 144 decimal 500. I've got my Vox on, I'm ready to go. Initially I'm just going to run 5 watts while I show you how it works. So simply go to TX, I'm ready to transmit. I've selected Martin 1. One of the other things to select is maybe your CW. You right click on that. You can set the CW at the end to give out various different calls. I've set mine to give G6PNH, so basically it identifies me at the end. Okay. I'm going to very click that off by itself. I'm going to very simply now press the TX button. You may or you may not hear the radio come on. You can see the yellows come up at the top. We've got the little bar coming down. The radios automatically come on. I don't have to do anything, and it's going to work its way through to the end. When it gets to the end, then you'll be able to see the TX button come off after it's given the call sign in CW. And there it goes. It gave out a CQ call at the end. and I'm really happy with that. Okay, so now I am happy with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the power up a bit, but I also want to change the picture at the back. To change the picture at the back, quite simply, hover my mouse over the picture, right click, and then choose load from file. I now have a selection of pictures that I can choose. Let's just go with one, and I have some some standard pictures that I use for my CQ calls. I'm going to use this one just to demonstrate. So I double click on it. It will now show me the area that it wants to use. There you go. Now I've got the template. I'm just going to pull G6PNH down a bit. I'm going to pull the SSTV down a bit. Sorry, the CQ SSTV. I know I'm working in VHF and I know that it's a reasonably good signal. So I can afford to go a little bit smaller. Now, if you're using Scotty 2 and you're trying to get into Europe on say 10 meters, you will need to use a picture that's not got too much detail in it. If you go for a picture that's got too much detail, click on there, load from file. See if I can just find one for you. That one's at Bruges, and that would not be a suitable picture. You need something that stands out. We'll load from file again. Something that's quite a simple picture. For instance, this one would be absolutely atrocious to send. You wouldn't be able to make it out unless it was absolutely a really good day. Let's go back to one I selected originally. There we go. And I'm going to send that. Now I've turned the power right up. Press the text button. Again on Martin 1. Let it send, and we'll see if we get anything back. It's one of those times of the day when I doubt I will get anything back. It's better off in the in the early evening. You're more, or at the weekend, you're more likely to get something back then. And there we go. It's as easy as that. Now, it's like any other call in CQ. You will need to do it a few times, and you will need to be patient for people to come back to you. You'll normally see a signal coming up on your radio. If you press RX, you'll see anything coming back at you. But like I say, you will need to call CQ a few times. Quite often with me, it's around about the third, fourth, even fifth time of calling CQ, especially on 10 meters, and then you'll just get something back eventually. Okay. So now you should have enough information to get you up and running with SSTV using the MMSSTV software. If you've any questions, please don't be afraid to ask them. There are no silly questions. In the next video, we'll have a look then at FT8, and it's just a continuation of the SSTV, and quite easy to do, to be quite honest with you. So that's what we'll do. In the meantime, if you did enjoy the video, and you're enjoying the video so far, hopefully I'm getting better, so please give us a click on that subscribe and give us that thumbs up. We'll be really grateful and appreciative. Thank you very much. So till next time, 73s.